What's up, guys? So here are my picks for UFC 248. I took another break. It's not the first one I take, and probably won't be the last one I take either. See, the last event I covered was UFC 247 about a month ago, and the reason why I didn't make any videos was because 2020 started horrible for me, and looks like the bad streak is over. So I'll just do like a quick summary of all 2020, and so I started with UFC 246. I hit 5 of 11. I've always usually over 60%, and this year was bad. I mean, because it started bad. So UFC 246 was 5 of 11, less than 50%. UFC on SPM 24, 6 out of 12, so that was 50%. UFC 247 was 5 out of 12, so less than 50% as well. But the last three have been good. So UFC on ESPN plus 25, 8 out of 13, 26, 7 out of 12, and UFC on ESPN plus 27, 8 out of 12. And last one was good. I picked Figueiredo to win by TKO. I picked Tibura to win by decision. I picked Ankalev to win by TKO. So those were for sure good picks. And again, everything I say, you can verify it in my Tapology. Tapology is like my black box, you know. That's where you can see all my results from forever. I'll leave the link in the description. That way you can prove everything I'm saying. So last three events have been good. So let's continue. UFC 248, and let's get to it. So Adesanya versus Joel Romero. I have Adesanya by TKO. I think I have him round 3. Let me see. Yeah, I have Adesanya by TKO round 3. This is one of those fights where I'll start by saying, something that I always talk about, and I probably always will talk about it because it's very important when it comes to MMA. You gotta give someone like Romero his well-deserved puncher's chance. He's a guy that if he lands one clean punch on you, you're gone. You'll get knocked out. And the thing is, Kelvin Gastelum landed a punch in Adesanya that kind of had him, a little shaky for a few seconds there. So for sure, if Romero lands clean on Adesanya's chin, he will knock him out. But as far as the skills, speed, technique, height, reach, youth, cardio, everything is on Adesanya's side. I think that he can move in and out and just pick apart Romero. Maybe be slightly careful for the first couple rounds because of how explosive Romero is. See, the thing about Romero is that he's like very different than Adesanya. He's always just standing still. I talk about this fight for his last fight versus Costa. He's a guy that stays still, doesn't do much, and then does a quick explosion where he'll throw several punches and at full force. But his footwork and his speed has got nothing on Adesanya, and Adesanya has a massive reach advantage on him. We're talking about, let's see, I have it right here. He has 7 inches reach advantage, and he's taller, he's younger, he's undefeated. I got Adesanya all the way here by TKO round 3. I think it will be by the time Romero has kind of slowed down a little bit, and then Adesanya will finish him. But the puncher's chance from Romero, for sure, something to keep in mind. And then what's the next one? Weili Zhang versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, whatever. I have a song TKO round 1. I think it's gonna be a repetition of Rose Namajunas versus Joanna round 1. I think her time has passed. I think the intimidating bully that she wants, once it's over, She doesn't really. I see Zay Lane just so much better. She packs a punch that is a lot harder. She's fast. She's powerful. The way how she was able to just completely destroy Jessica Andrade was just incredible. And it's not really MMA math because I don't believe in MMA math, but you can always use it as a reference to just how Andrade was able to eat everything Rose threw at her. And that fight was because Rose was winning that fight up until that slam. And she landed so many punches on Jessica Andrade, and she was able to survive. Only took one or two from Zhang, and Andrade was gone. So that just shows you how powerful she is. I don't think Joanna can take in what Zhang's going to bring. And being the only Chinese fighter champion, I think she takes that very serious, and she's going to destroy Joanna. So Zhang, KO round one. And then Beneil Dariush and Ricard Klose. These guys are very similar to each other, except I think Dariush is better on everything. Not by much, but just overall, I think he's better. I will say that the part where I do think he's way better is in the ground. If this hits the ground and Dariush gets some sort of dominant position, there's a big chance he'll get that submission. But at the same time, Ricard Klose is not really a guy that you can bully around with grappling. But striking, I also go with Dariush. So if you look at his fight with, he's been knocked out before, but by Barboza, by Hernandez. But look at the one with Barboza. If you actually watch the fight, he was beating Barboza in the stand-up. Like, he was doing very, very good. Maybe not beating him, but keeping up with him. And, that's not something that a lot of people can do. Barboza has usually been either knocked down cold very quick or outpaced. But to go toe-to-toe with Barboza is not something that, a lot of people can do. And Dariush was doing very well up until that crazy flying knee. I'm thinking had Barboza not land that, Dariush would have probably got that decision. Ricard Klose's striking is not really the greatest. It's not bad, but I think Dariush is better. The camps too. King's MMA is a really good camp, and Dariush is bigger, so bigger, more reach, better grappler, and I think he's a slight better striker. I'm going Dariush all the way. I have him by decision. A little thirsty there. And then Neil Magny and Jing Liang Li. I'm pulling the upset on this one. I have Magny by I think by decision. Yeah, Neil Magny by decision. See, this guy has only lost to killers of that division. Maya Dos Anjos, Santiago Ponzinibbio. Another guy that he has a lot, kind of like Adesanya Romero, a lot of reach on Lee. The reach advantage is at 8 inches, and he's decently taller. And Lee, while he punches hard, I don't think his striking is better than Magny's. I think it's another situation where I think Magny is better than Lee at everything. Maybe not power. Maybe power, I'll give it to Lee. Even though we saw Magny finish Hector Lombard. And look at his wins, Hendricks, 3, I don't know if that was post-USADA, but Condit, Eric Silva. And the thing is, again, a guy that has lost to very good fighters. And the one with Santiago Ponzinibbio, he was really compromised about 20 seconds into that fight with his eye. So who knows how much that took from him. But I have Magny by decision. He's one of my upsets for the night. Then we have Alex Oliveira versus Max Griffin. Another underdog on this one. I also have Max Griffin winning this one. I don't think Oliveira has the the cardio, the grappling, or the striking to win this fight, while I definitely give him a somewhat of a puncher's chance, I think the pressure and the grappling that Max Griffin brings will be too much. And one thing about for sure about Oliveira, he has trash cardio, and Magnus gonna test that cardio with the pressure and the grappling. So I have Griffin by decision all the way, man. Griffin by decision. I'm sorry, no, not decision. I have Griffin by TKO round two. TKO ground and pound round two. Once Oliveira has slowed down, I think Griffin will eventually take him down and just land ground and pound and get the TKO. Then we have the return of Sean O'Malley after about 2 years off versus Quinones. I have O'Malley by. At first, I thought he was gonna for sure get that TKO, and it could very well happen. It's not like I would be shocked, but I think that after it being 2 year layoff and coming from an injury, potentially, he got suspended for some sort of substance, whatever. I think he's gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a solid decision. I got 30-27 decision for O'Malley. This guy's striking is really good. It's like a little combination of Conor McGregor, TJ Dillashaw, and part of Edson Barboza, but like a watered down version of all three. The in and out of Conor, the counter of Conor, the speed and also in and out movement of TJ, and the unorthodox of Barboza, spinning back kicks, spinning wheel kicks. Young, hungry, and Quinones is nothing special. I got O'Malley all the way. And then Madsen, Mark Madsen versus Hubbard. I always talk about these guys that are Olympic level, and Marco Madsen is an Olympian. I think he's gonna absolutely win this fight just by grinding. I think he's gonna close the distance, get a hold of Hubbard, take him down, and maybe possibly get a submission. But despite the wrestling credentials, he hasn't got too many submissions, even against lower ranked guys. So I think Madsen for sure, but I don't think he'll get that. I think Hubbard will be good enough to survive. So I got Madsen by decision. He's gonna basically out wrestle him all fight. You gotta do that when you're an Olympian. So just to summarize it, I have Adesanya KO round 3, Weili Zhang KO round 1, Darius by decision, Neil Magny by decision, Max Griffin KO round 2, O'Malley decision, and Mark Madsen by decision. Alright guys, have a good one.